Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Trying something a little different since we're actually down in my studio instead of up at the desk. So hopefully the audio is okay. Might be a little quiet. And yeah, so we got a 38-pound box to open up tonight. So this thing is gonna be a ton of fun, I think, to actually get in here and take a look at and see just what trouble we can get into with this printer. Now, the one thing I will say about tonight is I am not going to pour resin in the machine tonight. Mainly because I'm getting ready to leave for vacation in a couple days and I don't want to have to print, then do a whole bunch of cleanup, then come back to a potential problem. So I am going to wait till I get back from vacation and then we will start doing some printer fun with this. So just putting it out there right now, next week there will not be a live stream as I'm out of town, but I think we got a lot of fun sitting on the table here. And as I said, the box is 38 pounds and it is quite unwieldy. To carry this down to my basement was a chore, and I do apologize, guys. You may be hearing some whine from the printers on the other side of the wall. That's one reason why I don't usually stream down here, is that gets picked up sometimes. So hopefully you're not hearing that too bad, but yeah. Just want to reach out and say thank you, Phrozen, for hopefully what is going to be a fantastic machine. I'm really kind of anxious to see how this will go and how it's going to work, because yeah, there is a lot here. And I did get 6 bottles of their 6 1 kilogram bottles of their 8K resin to, the light's going to blind this out probably, to give a try with the printer. But I also want to take a look at this resin and compare it to some of the other resins on the market, like the eSun Tough resin and all of that. Maybe there's a texture quality or stuff like that that maybe I may be able to use the other resin and still get the same result, is kind of my hope. So, but yeah. So how I plan to do this is I'm going to set the box on the floor. Unfortunately, it's going to be out of view. I didn't have time to get a second camera to point down at the floor. So and I'm going to bring it out part by part and put it up here on the bench so we can get a good look at what's going on. You guys may see me with the remote in hand. I have another camera up here that I'm working with, that I'm recording some snippets for actual video. So when I release an actual video on this, that I can do some more talking about it and stuff like that and kind of make this look better. And I know I'm looking off over here because this is where the actual screen is, so I can look at your guys' chat and stuff. When I start ripping into that, I probably won't look at chat for a little bit because I'm going to be really working hard to pull this out of the box. But I also want to just get good editable video while I do this. So actually I'm going to go ahead and start that too so that I can work on all of this. So Phrozen Mega 8K, the Phrozen Sonic Mega 8K, 13-inch build plate, 8K resolution, shipped straight from Taiwan. So that is the only thing that is problematic with this company, is the printers are coming from Taiwan and shipping is almost as expensive as the device itself. That's really the only problem with the Phrozen printers. Is you're paying a high cost for shipping. So, but I am anxious to get in here and see the box. This is all we're going to do tonight, is get in here, get this thing out, possibly get it level, get it turned on. So, but as I said, I don't intend on doing any printing with it tonight. So, just because it's butting up against my vacation. Now, the other things that are coming, we have a Prusa MK3 coming, but we won't see that probably till late June because it takes time for that printer to get out. An Ender 3 S1 Pro has been ordered. I don't know when I get that. The Anycubic M3 Max is on order and should ship at the end of the month. So hopefully we'll see that early June. And I'm really kind of curious to see that printer against this printer. So the M3 Max costs about $1,200. This printer costs $2,800. 13-inch build plates, both of them. But the build plates are different, and I'm going to talk about that when the M3 gets here, because you will see a video of me doing a versus of these printers. So just keep that in mind, that video is going to come. We're going to see a versus of those two machines, because I'm really kind of anxious to see, because I would love to see the M3 come in here and replace my Photon Mono X. I would just love to see that happen. But I'm not going to let my Saturn go. My Saturn is my baby. So without further ado, let's watch me try not to hurt myself, lift this thing down to the floor, and most importantly, not drop it. Oh. So, as I said, it is 40 pounds of printer. So, and just cutting the tape, the Citadel mold line remover, it works great for opening boxes too. So, first impression is open the box. I'm actually getting a feel for the box now. And packing wise, there's a lot of goodies here. I love these foam sheets. These foam sheets are awesome for dioramas, different things like that. A little bit of layer grout and stuff on here, and this stuff is great to reuse, and I love that I'm getting a big sheet set of this. So I am going to set that aside out of the way, and oh my, this may be a mistake, but we're going to do it anyway. Look at that beauty. That is a lot of sheer printer right there. Oh my. Let's get this guy out of the box. But packing material wise, this is a very well done pack job. But definitely on those foam boards, those are great to have around. Those are definitely a bonus to get with any printer that you get, because of their usability. This machine is far more massive than I thought it would be, and I don't know if I'm going to have a spot in there. JD, the Max may have been a bit much for going straight to the big bore printers. Might have been a bit, but I've heard a lot of people have problems with the Maxes too. So I'm just really anxious to get mine in here and find out what's going on. But for a beginner printer, I usually recommend like the Halet 1 or the Proxima. I know it's a 6-inch build plate. Even now, starting with like the Photon Mono X, a 9-inch build plate, is not a bad place to start, but I can't give advice on the M3 because I don't have it. This printer is not a starter printer. I do not recommend this heavy an investment for your first printer. This is resin printer number, technically it would be number 6, but it's now number 5 because a resin printer left for a new home today. So I traded it for another Odin because I love the Focus Odin. Great machine. But back to this. Oh, okay. Get these pieces of foam out of here so I can actually get a hold of it. That is a whole lot of machine right there. All right, that is everything out of the box. So I am going to walk the box out of the room real quick so I have room to move around. And we can send the foam with it. So first impression getting it out of the box, what do you guys think? It is big. So one of the big differences for this printer compared to the M3, which one of the flaws from my opinion is the M3, is the front, the way the casing opens up. The M3 is like every other resin printer, you gotta lift the lid off, or you gotta mod it. Actually, this is really good cellophane material. I might hold on to that for Sam, your Ender 3 is not even in the same ballpark as this guy. But we are in resin land with this one, Sam, not FDM. So kind of keep that in mind, that this is a resin printer. So I do like that instead of having to lift up, it's magnetic. I can open it up. I'll have the handles will be in the box to install, but I can open it up and I can definitely work in here. The build plate, your standard resin printer, your Pilot 1 and all that comes with a 6-inch build plate. Your Mono X and your Saturns, which are the bigger brothers, come with a 9-inch, roughly an 8.9-inch build plate. This guy has a solid 13. So in some regards, this guy is almost double of those printers. You mean a VoxLab, David? Because I have a VoxLab Proxima back there. It's a good machine. It is a really good machine. Unfortunately, it's one of the printers that will be in my shop finding a new home. But yeah, 2 at 8. Yeah, this is the size of a wine cooler. Trying to discern how I get the rest of this foam out. There's the part box. I feel like we have a problem here. Looks like it's all kind of sitting in the resin bag. Yep. Trying to stay out of the way so you guys can see, because I haven't found the instruction book yet either. Yeah, kind of the important things to deal with some of these problems. All right, so there's the power and all that fun stuff. Ooh, I can feel the static electricity. About to start making me rip, and I don't really want to rip at it, but you got to come out somehow. All right, so here's what I talked about build plates. That's the build plate. Holes placed in it to deal with suction problems. It's still going to have a really good area to grab so that we get good pull on it. I love that it is a 4-point leveling system. That is a love for me. But I mean, come on. It's bigger than my head. And that is a 13-inch across build area. So just kind of keep that in mind, that this thing is massive compared to your little guys. There's the toolbox. It just fell on the floor. Hopefully nothing expensive was in there. Oh! All right. There's a resin bay. Ooh, great harmonics. That's a good thing. That's a good sound. That means it's good and strong across it. I love the handles. You don't usually see that on a FET bay, on your resin bay, but that is sleek. Now, in comparison to the M3 has an auto refill system. This does not. There are some definite difference in there. So resin printer, Sam, it's not that different other than you're dealing with a liquid, which is not as fun. But for like D&D figures, ultra high detail, really sharp, fine detail, resin blows it out of the ballpark. Let's just be honest. It does a great job. And that's kind of my hope with this, is I can do some really beautiful resin prints. And do some large scale stuff. So, one of the things I do really like is the doors. The doors just make it a lot easier. I probably will put in the Anycubic air filters, the battery rechargeable air filters. They're kind of a great little handy tool to help with the resin smell. Video coming on that soon. We're gonna do some resin smelling and just kind of determine which one's not the stinkiest of the ones I like. But just looking at this bay and all this interior, this thing just is massive. This is maybe overkill for even me. So, but the ultra detail, making like really detailed lands. Let's hop to Warhammer. Terrain. We could print an extremely detailed Imperial Chapel or something like that to kind of do some really cool stuff. The construction of the machine, this is strong. This is steel. It's done really well. I love the way the interlocking system works. It's very clean. As you guys can see, this thing is just massive for what she is. So now comes the fun. Let's get in the goodie box. Let's see what we got here. The all-important manual. I will have to read this. And the warranty card. So those are good things to have. And let's talk about some of the stuff you usually get with a resin printer that you normally get. They usually send you a pair of nitrite gloves, which if you're doing resin printing, you want. I've had people go on and comment, "Oh, I just get on my hands, I'm fine." Don't do that. Use nitrate gloves. This stuff can get in your skin and irritate you and have an allergic reaction for some people. Don't get the resin on your skin. Just plain and simple. Put a pair of safety glasses on when you're doing this kind of stuff. When I'm going to be messing with this big old thing, you're darn right I'm going to have safety glasses on. I do not want resin in my eyes. So, let's see. European power cord, United States power cord. You don't normally get a foreign power cord for the United States ships, but that's kind of cool. Funnel for draining it back. And the all-important putty knives. Especially this one. When you're cleaning that FET bay, this little plastic one can be your real big friend. So, sorry guys, I'm trying to go between two cameras. But hey, we've got all this. I'm sure there's some stuff I still need to assemble on it. Looking at this bag, there's the thumb drive for all the software, Allen wrenches. There's no idea what this thing is. And the bag's broken because tools are falling out the bottom. I have to figure out what this is. Oh, there's the handles. There, that's simple find. And the all-important thumb drive. Now I just upgraded to Shintobox Pro because I'm doing a lot of printing, but I'm also going to try out their software and, you know, awesome stickers. And then the hex wrench sizing chart to tell me what goes to what. So awesome. So a lot of good information in here. The thumb drive looks just like it's a SanDisk. They didn't even put their emblem on it. Nice 8 gig drive. That's awesome. I'll pick up my Allen wrenches here, and we're gonna power this big boy on. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on here. That screen is quite big for a resin printer, and it should be touchscreen. So resin printer, like I was talking, Sam, these are great for high detail stuff. Oh my goodness, it has an Ethernet port. Meaning I can plug it into my network. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Alright, I am going to check the book real quick and make sure there's not some safety thing I need to remove. And just make sure I'm not going to mess something up in the first 5 seconds. So I'm just going to do a quick look through here. And that's going in. Oh, recommended software, Shintobox. So we're going to be using the right software when we start actually getting to print with this stuff. That will be in probably 2 to 3 weeks. You'll start seeing videos with this getting used. So Shintobox I know very well. I've used it before. Maintenance, and then that's the Chinese version. Okay, let's power it on. One big power switch in the back. No sound effects. Oh, there it is. So, massive machine. This may be even an overkill for me. Oh, good. Volume control. I really don't like my printers beeping at me, especially if it's the middle of the night. It's not appreciated when you have kids that something wakes everybody up going beep, 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 beep. But overall construction, excellent. This baby is beefy. It is sturdy. I love the front opening doors. I'm not trying to lift a cover off and getting resin all over it. We're trying to find a place to set it when I'm working on stuff. So I'm just trying to get the handles on before I lose them. So just looking at this acrylic panel, that's a good 1/4 inch thick panel. A lot of printers, they're maybe they're an 1/8 of an inch or so, depending on the printer and the covers. I have inadvertently busted one before. Luckily, eBay to the rescue on that one. I was able to get a new one fairly cheap for the printer because I set it down on the floor and I tripped on it. But all in all, now I'm really curious. There's the fan, not too horribly loud, especially compared to the other printers. And I'm going to go ahead and just run a Z calibration real quick. Stepper motor is not that loud, especially considering how big of a stepper motor this has. A lot of the smaller printers, the 9-inch and stuff, have kind of a standard 3D printer stepper motor size. This guy has got a beefy one. I mean, you can see that Z-rod screw is probably twice of what a standard 3D printer is. So definitely really cool. Now right now, like I said, I'm not pouring resin in it. I'm not gonna do that tonight. So the controls look very user-friendly. They look very standard for most resin printers. And all I hear right now with anything going is just the fan in the back. There are two pretty good sized fans back here. That may be a future video where I look at maybe swapping them out to an Noctua or something. Just kind of depends on if they're 24 volt or what, or if I can even get to them without damaging the printer. Because let's be honest, I don't want to take this apart anytime soon. No. It's just a beautiful look. Great. It just looks, I'll be honest, it's almost speechless how clean. This printer won't stay clean, but just how clean of a build this machine really is. The vat cleaning mode is there. Network, I'll have to do that. LCD testing, actually we probably could do that. So we'll bring this guy back up and we'll turn on the LCD, see what we get. Make sure that's working. JD, I am in heaven with this, but I am really scared with this too, because I don't want to mess it up. And yeah, I'm really excited to find a place for it back in my shop to where it's going to live, and then actually get it going. So first build. Oh, this is a good discussion topic. A Galaxy class? I'll be honest, I was thinking more Nebula, but I could be convinced to do a resin Galaxy class, because looking at the size of this machine, this is a single piece Galaxy class that I printed with my CR10. I think it can be done. Same size. So definitely is something that is doable. So what I may do next week is put out a poll. So keep an eye out for it, guys, here on YouTube, of what should be the... Now, granted, the first print is going to be the test prints. I'm going to do those first. But let's run the LCD test. And looking down in there, it's working fine. I'm actually going to grab the camera. Sorry for the dizziness, but you can see the UV light powering on in there. Everything looks good. And yeah, so and that's just a straight up standard LCD test where you can see it's getting the information here, it's displaying, I should see the same thing, and I am seeing exactly what I should see. So the LCD is in working order, the printer is in working order, everything looks good. So I am going to have to learn about the about its network connection, because that is kind of a really cool thing to see on the machine. You don't normally see that a lot on printers. You don't usually see a network port. A lot of the filament printers, you usually have to go with the Raspberry Pi and the Octoprint and different things like that. So definitely is I'm just kind of curious what our test files are. And it's the Rook, similar to the Illigu Saturn S test print. So, but I'm hoping it's just one big Rook. So, I've got their resin, like I said, I got 6 bottles of it. It does not look like a bottle will go very far. This is a 1 kg. This is not the 500 milliliter bottles that you would normally get. So, I mean, there's quite a bit of resin there. I'm betting it's going to take 2 of these to fill that bag. Of course, depending on the print that I'm doing, I may not have to fill the bay all the way, but it's definitely a lot to this machine. The construction is fantastic. The hinges are smooth. Magnets all lining up. Even when the machine's just in standby, it's very quiet. A lot of 3D printers that you'll see will be running, they'll be running the fan continuously. They don't do the shutdown, where this one is actually going into a nice quiet standby. So, yeah, gentlemen, I know it's going to be a fairly short stream tonight, but this was the objective, was to get this big boy out of the box. So, kind of my thoughts on this machine is packing, fantastic. Construction, how it got here, how it is mostly pretty much completely together, is a great win. I love that. 3, the ease of assembly was really good. Once you figure out how to get the packing material out of the machine, it's really good. I mean, all we had to do is assemble the handles, find the right power cord, and do the Z calibration. We're pretty much ready to print. So, with that said, I really don't want to pour a bottle of resin, but I really kind of want to, but I have not leveled it. And for that, I got to get some tools and stuff out. Because these Allen wrenches, while they are nice, I just have nicer ones that I use that protect my hand. No, that'd be really funny if this had like an Alexa or something in here and was talking to me 2 days. Voice command 3D printer, oh dear, that's a little scary. Especially if it could do food. I could just say, printer, print me a pizza. Oh dear, that'd be scary. But no, it's not talking to me. I did mute it, but there is just a lot in here. The network screen is very clean. That's one thing that I hate about some of these resin printers, is there's just a lot of clutter, and each one is labeled very, very, very well, from the vat clean, which will basically, how many of you guys know what a vat clean is, or how that works? Because basically what vat clean does is it will light up the LCD and create a thin layer on the bottom. That way all the particulate will get caught, and we can get that. You just peel that particulate, that print off the FEP, and you get all the garbage out of there. So definitely one of those things, because what can happen is that particulate can continue to build up on the bottom, destroy your FEP, cause a leak, or it can crunch and get pressed into your LCD and cause a lot of damage, and we don't want that. So kind of one of those things. This is a machine that I am going to be very careful with, especially in the beginning, until I get used to it. I am really hoping, a lot of the stuff that I read about this machine is it is very easy to use. Unfortunately, the price tag on this machine did jump. For a while there, this was about $1,800. Now it's almost $2,800 to get this machine. Definitely not a beginner's machine, especially getting that calibration correct. But I am hoping to do some really cool fine prints with this machine. So now that we got some time left and this has been put together, anybody got any questions about their printers or that kind of stuff going on that they could use a hand with? So I'm kind of moving over here so I can see the tip myself over here, see the chat and stuff. Because like Sam, you were talking about your Ender 3. JD, you brought up that you just returned your M3. I am really kind of curious to hear from you why you returned it. So, because that could be a very good topic for discussion, especially when we get one here in the shop to take a look at it here and see what's going on with it. So, I am kind of curious to hear those thoughts and talk about that. So, and honestly, even JD, your reason for getting into 3D printing and resin. So, kind of take it to a printer side chat, shall we? Or I would show you guys the print floor, but it is a train wreck back there right now, because I'm doing a bunch of hurry prints, And also I've got a few printers ripped apart for maintenance. So there's stuff all over the place in there. It looks like a bomb went off. I have not gotten to move forward for anybody that watched last week with the scanner. I have the software installed, but I have not had a chance to do anything with it. So hopefully when I get back from vacation, we will start doing a lot more of actual model rendering. We got a lot of cool models back on the wall that we can scan and play with, or I just conveniently have, I want to take the camera here again. I conveniently have a somewhat large eagle moss collection over here, and then up on the upper roof here where you guys don't normally see, I've got quite a large starship collection that we can play with. So definitely some cool stuff that we could 3D scan and recreate. I've got a ton of model kits out there that the model channel is going to assemble, and we can have some fun with taking them, scanning them in, and actually creating a 3D print out of them as well. So there's some cool stuff definitely coming when I get back from vacation. I need the vacation. I need a recharge. Been doing a lot of hard work to get stuff done. Hey, Doug. Welcome back. Hopefully things are going good for you. Yeah, we put this big guy together tonight. So definitely been a fun stream and just kind of doing some print chat. So curious what you guys are that have printers, what you're out there printing and what all's going on. Doug, get an update on you. Kind of curious to hear what's going on. And actually, can I get your guys' opinion? Did you enjoy the stream being down here in the studio, or do you prefer it up at the desk? Lot different things here tonight, and I'm more concerned that the audio is good. Because I was trying to use my normal camera to record, but it would not stay on for streaming, so I had to switch pretty much last minute. So but really kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say, or what's going on in your printing worlds. So two days exactly. So I could scan one of these pristine models and then start going in and creating damage. Reno's getting another what? Douglas, what do you call winter weather? I'm curious to what you're calling winter weather, because here in wonderful Missouri, we went from 40s to 90 today. So Mother Nature is very much went from cold to make us sweat. So now, don't get me wrong, I don't want more cold. I don't care for the cold, so I like being warm. But what gets me is the humidity. That gets me. So, but essentially, like 2 days, like what you said, we can do a lot of cool stuff with these with existing models, and I don't want to battle damage one of these beautiful, because the ships that I showed you up on the wall, those are all bought pristine. There's a Sovereign class Enterprise E that's never been out of the box sitting up there. And last time I looked at some of the eBay sales, those are going for about $400, and I'm not taking it out of the box. If it's doing that, I'm going to leave it alone in the box. But I even have most of the original collection of Micro Machines sitting up there that we could have a lot of fun. Oh, I don't like the idea of another cold spat coming around. Let it happen. Let it happen here while I'm gone at the beach, please. I don't want another. Oh, I don't want another frost. I just planted flowers. So, but kind of one of those things. There's a lot going on that I can do here on the channel, and definitely one of the things I want to make sure I'm gauging is your guys' interest in what we're doing. Is model creation something that we want to see from the complete beginning, where we're taking scans, or we're just starting out in Fusion 360 and rocking? to make our own thing. So one of the things I have had a request for is a Chariot class Federation starship, and I'm going to start down that road here. I've got a lot of the design found, the meshes, but I am heading to South Carolina to sit on a beach. And according to the forecast, I am supposed to have sunny and 80-degree days. So I am very much looking forward to stepping away from the 3D printers for a little bit, stepping away from computers for a while, and just kind of having a good break. Is kind of my hope. FreeCAD. I'll have to check that one out. I was even looking at it begins with a Z as a possible software, but Fusion. The reason why I'm choosing Fusion is, one, it's free for Fusion 360. It's still free for personal use. So that's one of the reasons why I'm looking to go there. Well, JD, stick around. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel, because we are definitely going to be looking at more at 3D design. One of the things that I'm going to be definitely talking about more is resin printing and placing the items on the printer and different things like that too, because it's different. It's different than placing it for an FDM printer. A lot of stuff you'll do at 45-degree angles and different things like that for support and all kinds of different things like that. So it is a bit different working with this resin realm versus what you see me do with the FDM and Cura and all that stuff. So, and we'll be definitely doing a lot of basically, I'm going to be looking at what is the word? Setting finding. So another printer that's coming on the list. Has anybody looked at the Anycubic Chiron? That is coming. I don't know when it will get here, but it is ordered. Oh, missed on the monster. So again, that build plate is as big as my head. When you lift it up next, it is literally larger than my head. So definitely a lot of coolness there. The FET bay is huge. Actually, I am missing a component still, because if you get a resin printer, get an LCD screen protector. Just buy it. Because if your FET breaks or leaks, it's going to go on the protector, not on your LCD, and save you a lot of money. So definitely big hint there. Mine is not here. I will have to find mine, or see if it's still coming. So the Chiron is a filament printer. The retail on this big guy right now is $2,900. So it recently jumped. All the Phrozen printers jumped in price recently. This was about $1,800. Now it is about $1,900, or it is almost $2,900. So this is a pure investment right here. But if you guys have seen how I print, what I print, this is the next logical step for me. 2-a-days, yes, I learned it the hard way. Luckily for me, the printer that I learned it on was still under warranty, and the company sent me a new LCD. So I got lucky, and then I actually learned the lesson on 2 printers at the same time. But the little Creality LD-002R, and by the way guys, I love that little printer. It may be a little 2K printer, but I can't I can't part with that little machine. I love that little printer. If I remember correctly, the DLP, you get a higher resolution over the LCDs is the difference. And with this being an 8K printer for the SLA realm, yeah, definitely a big machine. So yeah, the magnets, the doors click into each other, so it is definitely a good, safe machine. Again, a lot of the foreign features. I love the handles right here. I love that they put handles on the resin bay. A lot of places don't have that. The build plate size on this one of Fast is 13 inches. The Photon Mono X is 8.9. So definitely got a much larger build plate. I mean, again, here's the build plate, here's my head. I mean, this thing is massive in its build plate. And it's also, so a lot of printers you notice that are SLA, there's no holes. The holes are here to help with the suction problem. Because what can happen is so much suction can form that the print basically gets stuck and rips off the plate and sticks in your printer, and then you got a huge mess. The holes are designed to prevent that, where there's still enough ground area for the print to stick to the build plate. So, kind of a yeah, JD, this thing is built like a tank. Douglas, that's a good printer to choose. The Saturn S is a good one. I very much love it. So, I'm still waiting on my Macs. WannaFast. I reached out to Anycubic, and I will not get my Macs till probably end of month. I'm a little displeased by that, especially with the fact that I want to do a Versus. I would probably have to do them in 2 pieces, Wizard's Fury, but I wouldn't have to break them down into a bunch of prints. And the cool thing about resin is you can mend resin together with resin. Yeah, JD, you could use that as a weapon. But the build plate is probably just a little too narrow to make a good size helmet. Now, for kids, easily could make a helmet in resin. Especially if you looked at using like Esun's tough resin for that strength. That's almost ABS level strength in a resin. Douglas, did you ever hear on the AT&T job? Hopefully they finally got back to you. But all in all, again, yeah, this is built like a tank. This is meant to be in a very industrial level world. And how it's gotten into my shop, I don't know. But we are in a lot of trouble. We're going to have a lot of fun with this because, I mean, just the thoughts. I'm gonna pick on try not to make a mess here. I'm gonna pick on the Mandalorian armor. I mean, that's the standard Vembrace print, basic, but yeah, easily printed in this machine. Easily print new ones. So, I mean, that's saying a lot for scale, because this is the shoulder pad that desperately needs a new paint job. I mean, that would be a very easy print on this scale of a machine, where other resin printers, I would have to break this in half, or I would probably wind up cutting it here along this ridge to create a good seam to assemble it and have to print it in 2 pieces. So there's a lot of potential, especially like these vem braces where the whistling birds and all that stuff would be. There is a potential for so much detail that FDM somewhat can't do that this could. So unfortunately, like I said, guys, I'm going on vacation, so we're not going to put resin in it. Yeah, Wizards, definitely. The details would be impeccable. And in all honesty, when it comes to helmet, you see the Clone Trooper helmet back there in the corner. I'm going to have to cut it in half anyway, even though I printed it at full size, because I can't put it over my head. But if I cut it and I put the magnets and a hinge, I can easily close it and it fit properly. So the way I would cut that and cut the back off, I could easily do the helm in 2 pieces and have the right size. So definitely helmets are in the realm here, especially like the Iron Man helmets are broken down into lots of pieces. So doing an Iron Man you could easily make an Iron Man faceplate here, or Captain America's helmet. That could be a fairly easy print with this machine. So there is a lot of ways to do cool stuff here. I'll be honest, I'm kind of sitting there thinking, I was looking at the Stormbird from Warhammer 40K. I was looking at possibly redoing that because I could do it in one big print and get a lot of sharp detail. So there's a lot that you can do here. And coming into that resin realm, the ball game is going to be huge. Now, the real problem I have is finding a place in my shop to set this. One that can hold almost a 40-pound machine, because this is almost 40 pounds. She is heavy, but she's well built. And there's just a lot of fun that you can have here. I love that it has handles built into the casing to help me move it. But again, it's just heavy. This may be when I get back from vacation, I can script one of my family members to help me move it to a found place in the shop that I've done a little upgrading and reinforcing to the tool pinch, probably to set this on. So yeah, but you guys will have to check back in a few weeks to actually see what we get out of this and get some calibration on it. I'm definitely curious to see the recommendations of what their resin says, because actually something I'm not used to is their resin even comes with a book. But I'm also kind of curious to see how much this will hold, because the bay is huge. I'm betting a minimum of 2 1K bottles is probably what that resin bay will hold, because the resin bay is huge too. So I'm a little curious. Now, the one difference between this and the M3 Max, the M3 Max has an auto refill system. So you can actually take a bottle of resin and it will pump more resin back in to print, to keep printing. This does not have that. So I will have to keep an eye on it and come back in and probably pour more resin in as I'm printing very large prints. So there's definitely some things to look at in that regard. But all in all, I think, especially into my shop and what I'm doing, this machine is just a ballpark game changer. You've got me curious to that question. And it does not say how much resin it takes. So that'll definitely warrant some trial and error and fill. But like I said, Wizard's Fury, I don't plan on filling it right now because I'm leaving in a couple days, and I just don't want to fill it, have to clean it, and do a bunch of... So for this machine, yes, but from what I'm hearing, a lot of people that have had the M3 Max, it doesn't work very well. And I was a little concerned because I was looking at some of the tech specs for this. And how is it keeping the resin in the bottle mixed? Because one of the things, before you pour resin in one of these machines, you got to shake it for a good 2 to 3 minutes. And make sure it is well mixed together, because what will happen with resin is the pigmentation in that will settle out. And like, I tend to use gray resin all the time. I don't really use other colors because I'm just one of those, I'm just going to airbrush it and paint it. So with that, the gray will settle and it will block the LCD from getting the light out properly if I don't mix it all back up real good. And a lot of times to do that, if I've let it set for a day or two, I'll have to drain the bay, clean it up, shake it, refill the bay, and then go back to printing. So it can be kind of a mess to deal with, and that's something I'm going to have to be very careful with this machine. Is once I start production, I just keep going, and just if I know I'm going to let it sit, I got to clean it out. So we will find out when I get back. So but I got to get it to its new home back in the shop behind the door there. Figure out what I want to do with it, and we'll go start moving forward from there. So kind of one of those fun things that's part of the ball game. So all right, guys, well, it's already been, we're well into an hour here, and I've got other work I got to take care of tonight. We've got this guy put together. I'll admit it was a very easy assembly compared to some of the other resin printers that I've done. This one went together real quick. I mean, really the only assembly I had to do was put the handles on. That was it. The machines fit together really well on everything else, and I am really impressed and excited to get started with this one. So so I'm getting ready to say goodnight, guys, but before I do we have any questions or anything going on in your guys' printing world that need to talk about and help on? Well, I pull up my chair here and get comfortable. So we'll see you later, Wizard Fury, and I appreciate all you guys joining in tonight. We've definitely got a beast of a machine to start playing with, and some awesome printing ahead, I really hope. So we'll have some good prints coming and some awesome time. So appreciate all you guys coming out. If you're new here and you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And on your guys' way out, make sure you hit that like button. That gets it out there so more people can see this printer and get a look at what's going on. And think about in the comments, because this will come up as a video afterward, of what you would like to see me print first out of this machine, other than the test print. That's going to be the first print because I got to calibrate. But what would you guys like to see? Because we already had a vote for a Galaxy class, but kind of leave that in the comments. It helps out the channel. So Douglas, I can share those with you. Email me at mike@rise3dprinting.com and I'll send in my settings. Yeah, JD, appreciate it. We'll see you here in 2 weeks when the stream's back. We do this every Tuesday with something new, and we've got 4 more printers in the shipping line to get to play with, and we're always doing stuff with 3D modeling. So we'll definitely be seeing more of the actual computer screens definitely coming up, because you guys kind of got a glimpse of my big computer over here. So we'll definitely be doing some of that stuff coming up in the stream as well. So I appreciate all you guys. You guys are the ones that make this happen. If you want to go support the channel, go join the Patreon. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks.